This is your Grimsby Town versus Harrogate Town match preview. Hello, welcome to it. So I have been a bit, OTR, shall we say, in the last couple of weeks. I've been on, off. No real continuity. So forgive me for that. I am going to get back to normal, especially over this festive period. We've got this video tonight. I've also got a League 2 preview coming up as well as for any followers of mine that are National League followers, I've got a video for you guys coming up as well. But hopefully over this festive period I'll get back to the football content and the Grimsby content fairly frequently. And now things are sort of lining up correct. Hopefully I'll start doing that more regular. So, like we said, this video is the Grimsby Town at home to Harrogate Town, which takes place on Saturday. That is, of course, the 23rd of December. And I've listened to both David Artell's pre-match interviews, one with the club's media and one with Radio Humberside's media. Obviously, one of the things that we will touch on is Charlie Kirk, who has been linked with Grimsby all of a sudden after his release by Charlton, and obviously a David Artell link, as he used to play for David at Crewe. I do know that Gabriel Sutton, a very top guy in EFL know-how, when he got released, it was brought up that, Grimsby might be a way for him to go. During David's pre-match, he didn't entirely rule out the possibility, but he also didn't rule it in. But he did it in kind of like a smart way, going, if he's interested, we'd be interested. So, he's kind of opened the door there, but at the same time doesn't want to get everyone's hopes up and whatever else. But Charlie Kirk is the latest player to be linked to Grimsby Town. But as David said in his pre-match as well, we've got a lot of players that play down Charlie's side. We've got Abo, we've got Otis, we've got a couple of the players that can play down that side. So we'll keep an eye on that Charlie Kirk one. That could have some legs. It may not have any legs, but we'll see as the transfer window does head closer. I'm going to do a weekly video as well, just before I carry on. I'm going to do a weekly video on when it comes to the transfer window as to what Grimsby have done, if anything, or any rumours that I see once a week for the entirety of the transfer window. So look out for that as well. That's coming in January. And but now we'll crack on with the full preview. And like I said, the little things that were picked up from David Artell's pre-match was the fact that Charles Vernon is getting closer. He's already training with the youth team, so he's doing some light work. It looks like he's on schedule, because I remember when he first got injured, they said around January. So he's certainly on target for the return. And like I said, he is training with the youth team a bit. They are trying to get a program together to try and push him a little bit, but don't expect him over the festive period so much. He didn't want to say, oh yes, he's definitely going to be involved, and then you don't see him. But I don't expect to see him till the start of the new year, so probably maybe at least 3 weeks before we probably see Charles Vernon. But you never know. But it's good to see that Charles is getting closer. Also in Artell's pre-match, he did mention about players moving on, players staying, because obviously with the transfer window getting closer, he basically said to that question, yes and no. No, necessarily they don't have to, but obviously it wouldn't be fair to players to keep them if he's not going to play them. So he's got a few players, by the sound of it, that he wants to talk to about the possibility of moving on, whether that be permanently or on loan somewhere. And we'll go through the players in a later video who I think could be moving on. We'll find out in the upcoming couple of weeks, I would say, as in 11 days the transfer window opens. But also, I've got to say, during these pre-match interviews with David, he's very, very, very. He's got a very, very dry sense of humour, but a good sense of humour, and he seems to have a good rapport with the journalists, and he seems to know what he wants. He's very direct. He's very very to the point, you know, and takes everyone point on board. But obviously, he's a guy that goes, yes, but this is what I want. This is how I want us to play. You know, Matt Dean did start the interview by saying, obviously it's been very windy. So what's the, what's the plan for training when that happens? He's a player on the deck. Again, very direct, very forthright, and David Artell is growing on me. And what I say by that is that I've always respected David Artell as a coach, because obviously all the time knowing him, knowing what his teams from Crewe were like, and obviously Alan Buckley gave him that raving review a few seasons ago when his Crewe side came to us and beat us quite well. But I like how direct David is. I like how honest David is, and he'll take no prisoners at the end of the day. But he also seems like a manager that will get together. So we've got no really new injuries to worry about, which also came out in the press conference, which is good to know. There could be a couple of people returning, obviously, from the Link Senior Cup. Misha Fete obviously got a run out in that. He could be back possibly. We've got and a few others. Apologies for forgetting all of them. Jamie Andrews could also come back due to I think he got about 35 minutes or so, 4 minutes on the pitch the other evening, and I think it's a refreshing feeling, don't you think? And I think his interviews are very honest. They're very, he won't beat around the bush, and that is what I'm liking about David. So long may that continue. But now we'll go on a little bit directly more onto the game and exactly what's going to be happening. We're playing Harrogate Town on Saturday, of course. Now, actually, our record against Harrogate is not very good. In fact, it's awful. We've got an awful head-to-head record with Harrogate. We have actually only won 16% of the time that we played them. We've played each other 6 times. 3 wins to Harrogate, 1 win to us. We've only won once, and 2 draws. So, yeah, that's kind of showing you that it's 9 goals all. So there's been 18 goals in the games. It's 9 goals all. But it's that is quite an amazing stat. I didn't realise that we've actually got such a poor record. But because we've only played 6 times, I'll take you through the games that we have played against them in the past. The very first time we came up against Harrogate was in 2015, when it was in the FA Cup, when we went to Harrogate, and it was 1-1 at half time. The game finished 4-1 in the FA Cup. That was the season we made the 3rd round, if I remember correctly, and lost out to Huddersfield. And then we played them in the EFL Trophy. This was the behind closed doors, the COVID season, when we ended up drawing 2-2 in the trophy and winning on penalties. And obviously, our young lad Louis, I think, who's now gone to Cleethorpes, he scored a screamer that night, but it ended 2-2, and Grimsby went on to win on penalties. And then we moved to the league games, which we played in obviously that same season. Harrogate won at Blundell Park in October, 2-1, and Harrogate did the double that season when they won 1-0 at Harrogate in the February. And the last 2 times we played them, which was last season, Harrogate got a 3-2 win. That was one of the worst performances in regards to worst losses. I won't say performances. We dominated that game, and we blew that. We absolutely blew that game, and to lose to Harrogate, that was one of the few times last season I was fuming. And that came on Boxing Day last year. We then played them this past February and got a 0-0 draw at Blundell Park. So as you can see, really only two draws against Harrogate. That's all the games that we've actually played Harrogate in, and as you can tell, not a good record for the Mariners against Harrogate at all. Simon Weaver is the Harrogate Town manager, and he's doing wonders at Harrogate, and he has been doing for so many years at Harrogate now, and you can see why there's such a dangerous team. I mean, obviously their form lately. I mean, we're unbeaten in the league. In our last 6, but we've had 4 draws and 1 win. 2 wins since Paul Hurst left the club. We're unbeaten since Paul Hurst left the club. It was only the loss to Oxford that we've got in that time. But at the same time, we need to start picking up a couple more wins. It's great having the unbeaten record, but at the end of the day, we're going to want to start winning. Davy did as well. Harrogate's form similar. They've had 2 league wins out the last 2 wins in the last 5 games. They've lost 1 of them overall, though, including the cup. Obviously, they've lost 2, drew 2, and won 1. Whereas in the league, they've won 2, drew 2, and lost 1. It's going to be a very, very interesting game. This, and I think at home, we've got to. We've got to start on the front foot. I think everybody in here knows that we're going to want to start on the front foot, especially being at home. And the atmosphere at Blundell Park for the Crew game was the best I'd heard it in so long. I mean, so long. And we have to try and get that clean sheet. Because, like the lads who played midweek, we drew 3-3, so we didn't lose the game to Spalding, but we lost on penalties 3-3. We've got to try and expand the attacking play, but also be more astute defensively, because my issue with Grimsby, my only issue with Grimsby, even David, is we're just conceding far too many chances and too many goals are going in, and it's making it so difficult. But I do think it's early days for David Artell, so we'll see how it goes. You can see that the longest winning run for us is 1 game. Harrogate's is 2. Longest without a win for us is 5. 3 for Harrogate. Clean sheets 3 all season for Grimsby. Our last coming against Gillingham in September. And 4 for Harrogate. The biggest win has been a 2-0 win for us. And the biggest victory for them has been 3-1. Their biggest defeat, ours, was 3-0. Harrogate's was 4-1. George Thompson is the top goal scorer for Harrogate Town. Danny Rose, with his 7 goals in the league, is our top scorer. He's got 9 goals for the club already. Danny, to me, if Danny's fit, there was that concern after the Newport game that he'd injured his wrist, but apparently he'd fine. I think he just fell slightly awkward, and it was also a cold night, so we'll give him that. But Danny Rose is being captain fantastic, in my opinion. 7 goals already, 9 goals for the club already. He's 1 goal away from hitting double figures for the club, and and he's only 3 goals away from doing that in the league as well. The goal threats that we do have in the squad is amazing. Anthony Glenn seems to have got his confidence back as well. I mean, his delivery the last home game against Crewe was immense. Gav came on and put a cracking ball in for Danny's goal at Newport. And it was a cracking move as well. The Newport goal, and Danny right where he needs to be, and we have got some good players here. It's just about getting that consistency level up. But at the minute, I don't know what anyone else thinks. I still feel in a Grimsby game at the minute that we can score, but I still feel we can concede, and we seem to do that fairly comfortably. But hopefully we can address that fairly soon. I'll let you know what the league positions of the teams are. Harrogate are in 16th place, 8 wins from their 21 league games, drawing 3 and losing 10. Grimsby have played a game more than Harrogate, winning 5, drawing 9 and losing 8. Scoring 30 goals, conceding 34. Harrogate have scored 23 and conceded 28. So a minus 5 goal difference plays a minus 4 goal difference. 24 points for Grimsby. Harrogate have got 27. So if Grimsby were to get the win over Harrogate, they will go above Harrogate Town, and it could be a tight one. And to be honest with you, I think we've got to be positive with the positive news that's coming out of the club at the moment, and the way we are playing football. Although I have to admit, I think the Newport game was probably our poorest performance under David Artell. Where if we'd lost, I don't think we could have complained. So I was disappointed at the end of the game, coming away with a point. But a friend of mine said a point away from home is good. I think on that one it is, because I think we did probably just enough to get a point out of the Newport game. But we have to give Harrogate respect they're a good side, but I also think that, you know, if we can impose our game onto Harrogate, then there's every possible chance that we can achieve 3 points here. And going into this 3 games or 4 games in 9 days, I think it is, that we've got, you know, I think it's very important if we can get another home win for David Artell come on Saturday. So that is my preview done. I'm going to give you my score. I fancy us to win this, and I'm going to go Grimsby Town 3, Harrogate Town 2. And I honestly don't see us keeping a clean sheet again. I don't know what it is, I just don't trust our defence to keep a clean sheet. I think this could be a high scoring game. Watch me now, I've said that, it's going to be a low scoring game, but I'm going to say 3-2, and if you want me to push for who is going to score, I'm going to go again Danny Rose. I'm also going to go if he plays Otis Khan, I think may get one, and I'm going to go for Harvey Rogers to get one here somehow, and I just think, you know, it's going to be a fun game, this, because both teams like to play football. Both teams like to keep the ball on the floor. So, you know, there's going to be the misplaced passes, and there's going to be all the drama of a Grimsby match, shall we say. So that's my prediction. I'm saying Grimsby 3, Harrogate 2. Let me know what your predictions are for the game down below. Do leave it in the comments. I will get back to you if you've got a question for me, Grimsby related or otherwise. Do leave that down there for me. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. So do please like the video if you do like the video. Just let YouTube know that yes, we like this fool, and we like what he's doing, and we want to see more. And so please do like, please do share, subscribe to my channel, and I'll be back. I've got a couple more videos in the works, so they're coming soon. But I'll definitely be back for a review, and I'll double that up with a preview for the Mansfield Boxing Day game. If you do see me at the game on Saturday, then come and say hello and a Merry Christmas, and we'll have a good chat pre-game as well. If you do see me, I'll be in the main stand where the other wheelchair fans will be placed. So if you do come and see me, come and say hello. We'll have a picture, we'll have a chat, and all that good stuff. So I will see you for the Harrogate Town review, which will be on. It'll either be out Saturday night or Sunday morning, and then I will also see you for the Mansfield Town preview when as we go to them on Boxing Day to hopefully get a very late Christmas present. But in the meantime, do take care, guys. If you know, have a Merry Christmas as well. Do enjoy the festive period, whatever it is you guys will be doing. So do enjoy it. Please do like, please do share, please do subscribe, and I will see you very, very soon. And once again, guys, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I'll see you guys very soon. Bye bye.